Welcome to the Colorado Association of Realtors Realtor Day at the Capitol. I'm Ann Hayes, your 2018 CAR Chair, and I'm honored to be your MC today. I'm excited that CAR is hosting a gubernatorial candidate forum that will kick off the day. Before we get down to business, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor for today, Land Title. Thank you for being here today and for your support. It is my pleasure now to welcome our moderator for this morning, Kyle Malnati.
Malnati, you got it.
Right. Kyle is the broker-owner of Calibrate Real Estate in Denver, a CAR spokesperson, and was recognized as a member of the Denver Business Journal's 2017 40 Under 40 class. And I'll now turn it over to Kyle.
Ann Hayes, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, in the words of the famous philosophers, the Black Eyed Peas, let's get it started. All right, please help me welcome our candidates to stage. Kerry Kennedy, come on up. Doug Robinson, Mike Johnston, Victor Mitchell, Cynthia Kaufman, Donna Lynn, and Noel Ginsberg. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Hi. And they just keep coming.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
It's like a family reunion up here all over again.
All right, as moderator, my job is to make sure that the trains run on time, so we're going to keep a tight schedule. We've got a ton to cover, and we don't have a lot of time to do it in, so we appreciate everybody's time. And then I'm also going to make sure that there's no family food fights. All right. First, we're going to give each candidate 2 minutes to introduce themselves to our audience. I love all your smiling faces, the Colorado Association of Realtors. So let's start with the microphone down at Kerry Kennedy. 2 minutes to introduce yourself.
Good morning. Oh, can hear me. I'm Kerry Kennedy. It is a great privilege to be here as a candidate for governor. Thank you so much, Kyle, and to the Colorado Association of Realtors, good morning. It has been a privilege for me to be a part of Colorado's leadership team for over a decade, including serving as your Colorado State Treasurer. And also, I served as the Chief Financial Officer for the City of Denver and was appointed Deputy Mayor in that position. We are proud of Colorado. We are an innovative and forward-looking state. We have built, according to U.S. News and World Report, the #1 economy in the country. I am proud to have been a part of the leadership team that has helped lay the foundation for this success. I am running for governor to continue the great work that we are doing here in our state and also make sure that our progress reaches everyone. There are 3 things we need to do here in Colorado. First, we need to make public education our state's #1 priority. It doesn't make, thank you. Doesn't make any sense. We have the top-ranked economy in the country, and our investment in education, K-12 through higher education, ranks at the bottom. Half of the school districts in our state today are running on a 4-day school week, and we pay our teachers among the lowest salaries in the country. Colorado should have one of the best public education systems in the country, one that matches our state's great progress. That will be my top priority as governor. We also need to keep healthcare accessible and affordable for everyone, which is why I have proposed we offer a public health insurance buy-in option. Finally, we need to work together to protect our beautiful state and keep Colorado the place that we all love. Turns out people love Colorado as much as we do, and a lot of them are moving here. You know that better than we do. But we need strong leadership to make sure that we protect our open space and public lands, that we manage this growth in ways that protect our air and our water quality, and we lead as a state in addressing the most pressing issue of all of our lifetimes, which is climate change. Thank you all so much for having us here this morning. I would greatly appreciate your support in the governor's race.
Thank you, Kerry Kennedy. Doug Robinson.
Good morning. How are you folks? Good. I'm especially excited today. I was telling some folks over here, my father-in-law was the CEO, national CEO of your organization for a number of years in the 80s and 90s. And among the fateful things that he did, he made the decision to open the D.C. office, to move the headquarters to Washington, D.C. You'll have to tell me later whether that was a good thing or a bad thing for your organization. Most of you probably know me because of the media coverage that I've received as Mitt Romney's nephew. Have you heard that before? Well, that is true, and I love and respect my uncle. I have lived a different life than he did. You see, when I was a teenager, my father left our family. My mother, either out of shame or embarrassment, didn't let others know the full extent of our circumstances, which meant that I went to work and often put groceries on the table, worked my way through college, really made my way in the world, which gave me a profound appreciation for the underdog, for someone that has to rise up from the bottom, and gave me an ability to take risks, to innovate, to solve problems. That showed up for me after we moved to Colorado. I was working for a big company. I said, we can do things in a better way. Started my own firm, which we grew to be the leading advisor to other companies in this region in how to grow and raise money to do so. Along the way, I saw that there were some problems that weren't being addressed and started 3 nonprofits. One called Kids Tech, which has taught over 15,000 kids technology skills so that they can thrive in today's world. Another called Smart Colorado, which has been at the forefront of protecting kids as marijuana has been commercialized. My priorities, I'm ready to serve and to lead. My priorities are around better job creation, higher paying jobs. We're going to talk about that today. Improving our schools. We have to do better with our schools. And truly making Colorado the healthiest state in the country, which means dealing with our addiction, our drug challenges, the high cost of health care. I'm Doug Robinson, Republican candidate for governor. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug Robinson. Now, Mike Johnston.
Well, good morning. My name is Mike Johnston. I'm delighted to be here today. I had a lot of easy prep this morning because my brother is a realtor and my dad was a realtor, so it's been pretty easily in the blood for us for a long time. I grew up on the western slope of Colorado, and so my dad was a bartender, my mom was a music teacher, and they moved out to Eagle County in the 60s. My dad ran a bar, then they opened a bed and breakfast. So I grew up most of my childhood in a bed and breakfast, which meant you get great at all the things you do in a bed and breakfast, like cleaning bathrooms and folding laundry and mowing the lawn and making breakfast. If my wife were here, she would say all the best skills I brought into the marriage, essentially, would be from those early years. But I eventually followed into my mom's footsteps and became a public school teacher. I'm a 4th generation public school teacher. I've spent 20 years in education as a school teacher and as a principal of 3 different schools in the metro area before I eventually came into the state senate. I've spent 7 years in the state senate, and in that role have had the chance to work on a number of big issues that we're going to talk about today, including I was one of the sponsors to try to solve the construction defects problem that you all have been at for many, many years. And so very familiar with those issues. And I'm proud of the fact that in those 7 years, in a time when our politics has gotten more and more divided, I've been able to be quite successful at actually bridging those divides to get things done. In my term in the Senate, I passed more than 120 pieces of legislation, all signed into law by the governor, and more than 90% of those had Republican co-sponsors. Because my belief is if you want to get something done for Colorado, it ought to look more or less the way my Thanksgiving dinner table looks in my house, which is about half Republicans, about half Democrats, and we find a way to figure it out. And so I think this is a time where the state is looking for leadership on the big issues we're facing to figure out how we can move the state forward together. And I think that is going to be the issues we're going to talk about this morning, which is for the first time in 30 years, when you ask folks on the Western Slope and on the Front Range what the single biggest issue they're facing is right now, they've given the same answer for the first time. And that answer is affordable housing. And so I think we're going to talk about housing, we're going to talk about infrastructure, we're going to talk about what it takes to build this state in a way that protects the values people hold the most dear around this state. And I think that's going to require someone with both a big vision and a broad coalition to actually get these things done. I think I'm that candidate. I love your support. My name is Mike Johnston. Thanks so much for having me today.
Thank you, Mike Johnston. Up next, Victor Mitchell.
Good to see you, Mike. Good morning, everybody, and hello. My name is Victor Mitchell, and I am a candidate for governor. And I'm asked pretty often, actually almost every event I go to, Vic, why exactly are you running? And the answer is pretty straightforward. You can feel frustrated or angry or even disillusioned, cynical towards our state of our state, state of our union. Or you can put yourself out there and be part of the solution. I choose to be part of the solution. Now, I come at this a little differently than most. I come at this as a family man. My wife and I have been married for almost 30 years. We have we're very proud parents of our 3 children. Our eldest child just recently graduated from CU. She's a software engineer. Our son is a cadet at West Point. And our youngest is 14 years old, who's just discovered that her parents don't know anything. But she's also unfortunately headed towards being our only Democrat in the family. I'm kidding aside, we call her the sweet angel from heaven. I come at this, of course, as an outsider, as a non-politician, but my background is as an entrepreneur. Actually, I've built 6 different successful companies. I started my very first business when I was 21 years old. I built one of the largest private telecom companies in the country. It was actually founded here in Centennial. And I think the essence of being an entrepreneur is somebody who thinks differently, that has some degree of creativity and imagination, somebody that's not afraid to take risks, and most especially